Roll call. Steve,
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Megan, Doug, Ken.
Yes.
Item number 3, approval of agenda in front of you. You will see the agenda. Are there any additions, subtractions, corrections that need to be made at this time or changes? We do have people here for B, C, and F. My recommendation would be to throw those up under item 4.
So moved.
Moved by Doug,
Second.
second by Lauren. Discussion? Hearing none. Lauren,
Yes.
Doug,
Yep.
Ken,
Yeah.
Steve.
Yes.
All right. Item number 4, citizens forum. Are there at this time we'll take anybody who wants to address the council with anything other than what is currently on the agenda?
Yes, so my item is related to this, but not exactly this, so I wanted to bring it up during forum. So the shot and discus that we would like to put on that soccer field plot of land. I also want to ask the council if they'd be willing to gift that whole plot of land to the district at some point, so we could also use that for parking, and we would obviously be owners, so we would take care of the upkeep and everything like that moving forward. So I know that's a several month process to do that. So the item on the agenda is to get the ball rolling, so we get the cement pads for the discus shot. I think long-term goal for us would be to get that entire plot of land from the alley to the backyards of those people over there. So that would be our goal. The district would pay the legal fees to do all that if the city would be willing to give that land to.
I think we had talked about that before, and I think that's when we think of the total scope of doing that, I think it's going to help alleviate some parking issues, especially now that those roads might be a little more narrower. There's going to be less space to park on the edge of the roads over there due to the construction of the stadium. So I think it's going to alleviate some of the stress that we're going to see. So, sir, any comments?
Now, the only thing, junior high football is using it now, so no change there.
Mhm.
But the soccer people, will they still be able to use it?
Yeah, we can't put a building on it because it's
Right.
in floodplain.
Right.
So we would use
So
it
that
for
would
parking,
remain
shop,
soccer on
disc,
that
yeah.
part.
School has expressed an interest, and we would need to make sure that the city attorney reviews the request for the city, and then we can start negotiations.
Perfect.
And we got it through FEMA originally, and so all the FEMA requirements will still apply. And it didn't cost us anything, so I think we should transfer it on those same terms, but we need to deal with the attorney on this.
Do you guys use Allers for your attorney, for your city attorney?
No, we do. Yeah.
Not Becky.
It's
Gil.
Caldwell.
Caldwell.
Bappy was like 30 years.
Seems like yesterday,
He
though,
was
right?
the attorney that was at the Oklahoma Museum.
Any other discussion for Chad on that subject? Hearing none, is there anything else for the council under citizens forum? All right, hearing none, we will move on to item 7B, discussion and action on shot put ring and discus area at soccer field.
So it'd be a 10 by 10 cement pad for the shot, the disc, and one would be in the northwest corner of the property. The other would be in the northeast corner of the property, and they kind of shoot to each other, I guess you could say. So it's just if the city would be willing for us to
It gets wet in there.
to be able Yeah, and we understand that. But we also don't want to throw onto the soccer fields that are on there. So if the city be willing for us to move forward with that, then we can get that ready so we can have everything ready for the spring. Again, both paths would be 10 by 10.
You have a site plan or just a general description?
Just what I shared with you.
And so they will be, one will be throwing in a easterly direction, the other will be throwing in a westerly direction. And that will be accurate enough so that it doesn't get thrown out into the road.
So the discus has a cage. So we put up a cage that'll extend out so that way if a kid would slip off of their hand with their disc, it would hit the cage and not go out into the road.
And that's a temporary one.
Yeah,
that you put up every
you
time.
take it down after the season.
How far back from the right-of-way line would these pads be?
I think that's part of the discussion too, right? Is how far the city would like us to be off, and so we're flexible on wherever the city's comfortable with us. Just as long as the disc isn't as bad, won't be as big of a deal with the soccer field. There's teams that throw disc on like football fields. It's not ideal, but there's teams that do it. The shot is going to do some damage to the field, so we certainly don't want. Nobody does that, but a disc won't be as big of a deal to the field necessarily. So I think that's part of the discussion.
Does anybody have a feeling as to how far off the road it should be? Or do we just kind of approve it and with the subject to
A site plan.
I don't know whether it was site plan or just going down, having the mayor go down and view it and make sure that with Tony that public safety is being met. I mean, if we transfer the property to the city or to the school has all the liability. Until then,
For sure.
we want to make sure that nobody shot puts through somebody's front window.
Well, there won't be anything happen until spring, right? Anyway,
Well, we'd like to get the pad laid.
but as far as throwing,
Yes, correct.
any liability.
Is there going to be, I think what we're running into now to avoid what we are running into with the Legion Field and who takes care of what, will there be for the time being until the land is discussed about being gifted to the district, an agreement put in place so that the city knows who's taking care of what in and outside of season, that sort of thing? Or is this going to be
Hopefully we get this all taken care of before December.
okay?
Yeah, it only takes a couple months.
Okay.
So
Yeah, and by spring, when grass starts growing again, if everything goes through, it'll be us taking care of it. So it shouldn't be an issue.
Relating to that property, a different topic, but is there any purpose in that trailer still being down there? They put it down there last fall. They haven't done anything with it at all.
That's where the project manager keeps all the site plans and everything like that.
In that place?
The project's winding down, so
So that will be
we're
gone.
getting close. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
there's grass growing in the field, so that's
Yeah.
good.
Well, weeds.
It'll get torn up and start over.
It's green,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I move that the school be authorized to put a discus and shot put pad in the EMS, was it EMS park?
Mhm.
And that the Tony and the mayor review the placement with the school prior to it being installed.
Perfect. That's a motion made by Steve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Lauren. Discussion. Hearing none. Doug,
Yes.
Ken,
Yeah.
Steve,
Yes.
Lauren.
Yes.
Perfect. And then you can email me or I'll email you and we can find a time to
Yeah.
get together.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Item 7C, discussion action electricity at rodeo grounds. All right, gentlemen.
You're up.
The last couple of years, we've had issues with the buried wire that service our grounds down there. We're trying to update that. Lack of funds kind of bring things to a halt. Just don't know.
Well, we're doing is putting 50 amp services down there compared to 30 amps. And a couple trailers need the 50 amp for their air conditioners and stuff. Instead of, you just well go look down the road, put them in now instead of, it's going to cost more on down the road later on. And so put them in now and you'll be there. As everyone knows, well, not everybody, but it used to be a dump. If you would have been down there while we was digging, you would have go, oh my gosh, the glass, the metal stuff we pulled out of there when we dug it up. You've been, oh, and that's what we think, because the wire that was underground before never was in conduit. And I think the shifting of the ground underneath has maybe cut the wires. I know it's going to sound really stupid, but my son can grab hold of the arena fence and get shocked. Me and Roger and everyone else can't. Maybe he's sensitive to it. And it seems like every year we go down there and somebody's got a problem with electric. And we got one plug-in that does not work. You can hit the breaker, and as soon as you plug something in, it trips just like that. So something somewhere is
Where are
gone
these located? Are they located on the south side?
on the creek side.
On the creek side?
The southwest side of it.
Southwest?
So what are you asking for?
Okay, we thought it was going to cost $11,000. For some reason, somewhere it got mixed up, and it's going to cost $28,000. We don't have 20. We got to 28,000, but we like to keep a surplus in there for the following year in case something happens, a bumper. And if we do that, we won't have it.
So what are you asking?
What are you giving? We're asking as much as you can give.
If we look back, we talk about the Don Stample era, and I think Steve and I had this conversation a little bit too. There was a gentleman's agreement when the arena was built that everything above ground was rodeo committee and everything below ground was city property. And so I guess we have to decide if we're going to help out the rodeo community when they bring in a ton of people in town.
I take care of it. I mow it. I spray it. I weed eat it. We don't city doesn't have pay for nothing over there. And that was like he said, was a gentleman's agreement. When we put the fence in there, that's when Keith Thompson worked here. If we put the fence up, we'll take care of it. And he said, yeah. And from then, I don't know what year that was. It's been a long time ago. And that's the way it's been ever since.
So right now you have $17,000 outstanding.
It cost us $17,500 put on a rodeo.
No,
Mhm.
for
The
the electric,
electric bill.
Yes.
for the electric bill.
Is that what it is?
17,000
Yeah.
left over.
Did they give you a quote or any?
We did not see one. That's what we don't understand. We got the quote from the guy doing it. It was 11,000, and we didn't realize
The other part of
the
it.
other part of it until we got the bill and it come to me. I gave it to Roger. He didn't understand it and showed it to him, and he goes, "Oh yeah, this is Nelson's electric bill for the bucket truck, the wire going overhead, and for them to do some hookup."
Have you discussed it with them as far as not disputing the bill, but going, hey guys, why did this get so high? Or why weren't we made aware of certain things? Have you discussed that at
Well, it
all?
wasn't brought to our attention until last Friday.
He forgot to tell us. He was looking at his part, and to him to get the job, it sounds good to us.
Mhm.
And then he didn't tell us the other part. And I guess the old saying is too good to be true. Cause we had one other quote was 30,000. We go, whoa, we can't do that. No way. He's 28,000. It's not that far off.
I don't know
So do
what,
you feel like you've gotten $28,000 worth of product?
Not yet. We've got $11,000 worth of product. We paid the guy $11,000 Friday. Well, 2 installments. That included the wires, the pedestals, and him hooking it up and the conduit, right?
Yep.
And that is done, but there's no electricity down there, so we can't. And I got a phone call yesterday. They like to have a barrel race next Friday, and I said can't. We don't have electricity. And we got one supposedly, hopefully, another one October 31st, August 1st. And if it ain't even close, then I might say no, we can't do that either. So
so there's $17,000 worth of work to come?
Yep.
And we
Well,
can't do that until it.
is that-
obviously has their money.
they've already put the wire up overhead in the bucket truck. I don't know if that's the 8,000.
yes,
So they've already done that. So when we still owe,
11,
Are you happy with their work?
yes,
Yes.
we just have final connections is all.
Yeah.
Okay.
It requires them putting in a 320 amp meter on one end, and a 200 amp panel on the other. So we can hook everything up at that time and it's done.
So the total cost is gonna be $28,000. Right.
we've already given 11. We've already paid 11 of it.
And you already paid 11, that leaves 17,000.
And last Friday, you said was the first you were aware of the bill being way up there?
We got the bill, but neither one of us understood what
It was written,
goofy.
even he had a hard time explaining it to us.
Yeah. So once he explained it to us, and that's when we found out, well, this
When
Nelson's.
you added all the numbers together.
Yes,
So it wasn't told to us at the very beginning.
Did you tell them that?
That's what we did. We did Friday,
All right,
but you know,
because that's shock, yes.
Yeah, I would, that's
You
where I was
know, I
trying
mean,
to go earlier.
we've already paid for what all the materials was down there. We've already paid for half of that already, and we just made the decision. It's here. We paid for it. If we take it back, it's going to be a restocking fee anyway. So we'll just put it in the ground. It's got to get done because we don't need anybody shocked down there, you know.
No.
And we're that far. And now, like Roger said, it's just the 2 boxes and the hooking up is what they got left. As of right now, there's no electricity down there. We have the electricity shut off and the panel locked up so nobody can get in and get shocked or nothing. So. And we did put a new hydrant in for you guys. Well, not for you guys, for us, because that one was leaking over there. I'm sure, you know, if Tony looked at it now, he said, wow, what a difference. But we got a new hydrant over there. And lo and behold, we thought the wire was like from me to over there. It was right here when we hit that. But that's our cost. We got to fix that. So we wanted to call Kevin Day on that. But
You guys went out and obtained proposals from
Alliant, Kevin Day, and these guys.
3 contractors. And you accepted the low proposal.
Yeah, we thought.
And
it's so low, it's just.
there are change orders that increase it to $28,000, and that is still a lower cost than either of the other 2 proposals. Is that correct?
Yes,
Wes,
Yes.
from a city proposal perspective, if we were to donate 17,000 to pay off the rest of this, would it be a good idea to have the copy of the paperwork on the proposals and the change order so that we can we show the auditor if they ever ask.
Let's make sure we're telling the truth.
We didn't just,
I think the thing you got to watch out for is the city's participating. This is me not playing lawyer, but the city has duty for public bidding for projects. And if the city participates in a cost, I don't know if legal counsel might have input on whether that's, the thing you got to be careful with is it doesn't make the appearance that you're trying to circumvent public bidding laws.
Right.
If that makes sense. So
And is
there
that
is a
over?
bidding threshold for when you have to have public quotations, and then versus a actual public bidding. Public bidding threshold is like 135,000. The quotation limit, it's been a while since I looked at it. I want to say it's like 35,000. So I still think you're going to be underneath that, but I think just in general as a due diligence, it would be a good idea to have that on file to just
We
look.
have no written
Estimate.
estimates, thank you.
Yes.
Because the line come down, they was gonna bore it down to the southeast corner. Then Kevin was gonna run it in. That was how much?
That was 23,000
Just for Alliant, not counting Kevin was, I don't know, he was a lot higher than that. And then Kevin was $30,000 to do, but he did not want to bore it. He wanted to trench it in, and like I said, that place is the old dump, and you're gonna hit. When he did it before, he knocked the chain off so many times he didn't want to do it. He did not want to
That's
do it.
understandable.
And when we did it this time, Roger, we got a backhoe, a mini hoe, and dug it. And if anybody wants any bottles, I did save some. But
In the absence of just my thought, if in the absence of an actual official quote, a document from you guys.
we have
like
one.
document,
One this guy.
just from you guys saying, hey, we talked to this person, they quoted this for this. Just for the
And make
city's
sure you
sake.
guys sign it too when you give it to us, that way.
Yeah.
Signed legal document.
Just kind of an affidavit of sorts that, hey, here's
Mhm.
what we did. That way it shows the city has asked these questions, that it's still reasonable. But I don't believe you would have an issue with, I'll double check that. In fact, I can check it here if you give me a second. That quotation threshold, I don't think you'll be above that. So anything below that, the city is authorized to make purchases just out of their general budget without.
If we would have known it sooner, because Kathy Smith said she could get us some grants. Well, we already decided to do this. And if we went from, if you all go down there, there's two boxes, the one on the south. If we go back to the east, we've already talked about maybe asking her to write us some grants to extend it on down to help us out. Because I didn't realize electricity costs that much.
I do. I had some quotes done for my place.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
All I needed was a new pole.
as I understand what's going on here.
And is it too late to get a grant
We
now?
have,
Okay.
a city park. And traditionally, the city's been responsible for what is under the ground, and the rodeo is responsible for what is above the ground. And we have a dangerous situation with the electricity failing, and also possibly causing shocking hazards. And the rodeo has contributed $11,000 to a project to get the electricity fixed. And I move that the city contribute $17,000 as community betterment from the local option sales tax fund, so that the electricity it can be installed in a safe manner, and the rodeo grounds continue to be used to their highest capacity.
It's a motion made by Steve. Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Second by Ken. Discussion. Hearing none. Ken?
Yeah.
Steve?
Yes,
Lauren?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Perfect.
Thank
There
you.
you go, boys.
For reference, Steve, that bid threshold is 65,000. So
great.
You guys want 20 then?
I want to get back to your discussion. What do you need from us to give to you for this, to do this?
Just give us the names of the companies that you got the verbal bids for,
Okay,
how much they bid. Both of you sign that document and give it
And the
to,
bill?
and the bill.
and the bill that we got now?
Copy of the bill.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then give it to Deb and we can get you.
What we will do is we're making a donation to the
Rodeo committee.
to the rodeo committee as a 501c3, and they are going to pay the bill.
Mhm.
We'll just have a copy.
wait the minutes people see that.
Huh?
Wait till it comes out in the minutes and they see that, people in town.
Well, what
I've already got one phone call on it today.
the
Their problem, not yours.
Well, I know, but it's just, you would think after 37 years of having a rodeo, but I think a lot of people don't understand what it costs us to put on that rodeo. And what we, all the people come in and see all these people. Well, we're trying to keep the admission levels low so people come and not overcharge everybody to come in to watch this thing. But we make a roughly, all but this year, 2,000 to 3,000, maybe 4,000 on a good year. That's all we make a year. And everything you see down there, we put back into it. And that's, this year was
I see this essentially in a very similar way to Old Settlers, in that we have a committee that puts things together for the betterment of the community. You do multiple events in the year. Old Settlers only does one.
we try to help along out. when we can.
City spent money years ago to put in that pavilion down there. Old Settlers contributed toward it, and the city contributed toward it, and we got some grants, and we built the big grain bin pavilion and a couple of others. So cooperating with the organizations that are doing the work makes a lot of sense. It provides community betterment, and that's what the local option sales tax money is for.
Absolutely. All right. You guys got what you need?
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
And thank you for the $11,000 contribution to this.
And for you, I know we've talked about that right up for the stuff on top of the ground is ours and everything in the ground for a written agreement, because like I said, Don Stample did it years ago, and you get a different council, different mayor, all this and that in here, you never know.
We'll work on it, hopefully get it done before the next calendar year.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm from the old school, a handshake and a verbal thing was okay. But, now the world's different, so.
If we had the agreement, then instead of you guys going out and getting a contractor to take care of the electrical, since that's under the ground, you would have come to the council and say, people are getting shocked, we need more power. Let's take a look at it. The council would have gone out, gotten 3 bids.
Gotcha.
And done the whole thing and we probably would have asked for a contribution just like we did Old Settlers, and it would have ended up in the same place, but it wouldn't have been backwards.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Item 7F.
You guys can leave, you don't have to stick around.
Well, I've always kind of liked sitting there where Lauren sat, but I don't want to sit there no more, but I kind of enjoy it.
Okay. Hang around as much as you want.
Item 7F, discussion and action on tree survey.
Okay, so I know we talked about some of the dead trees in town and up and down the street. We'd like to have them all marked somehow or whatever. And we were talking about getting a, what do you call yourself?
Arborist.
Certified arborist,
Yeah. So, anyway, I knew that he went to school for that stuff and that he passed, and I thought, well, let's give him a call. And so let's talk about what we need or wanting to do.
Did you get any of the information from our previous meeting?
You know what, I might have, you probably emailed, I don't know if you did or not,
No,
but,
he did.
so, he said something about you guys are thinking about trying to get a grant. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of
Well,
grants out there.
We applied for a grant to plant trees.
Yeah,
This has
replace
nothing to
trees.
do with the ash
Removals,
problem.
yeah,
What I discussed back in the July meeting was that we contacted an arborist to inspect the trees in the right of way, the city park, and other city property, identifying dead, diseased, and damaged trees.
sure,
Those trees would be marked with a large X
yeah.
if dead or dying.
What color?
White probably. And if it's a diseased tree, a different mark, maybe a W. And if it's damaged and should be removed, a different mark, a Z. Now, why are we marking the trees? Because we would then make sure that the public knows that all the trees with an X are going to be removed
Sure,
in a fairly quick time frame. The diseased ones, we have a little bit more time on, maybe something could be done. The damaged ones, the same way, maybe we just need to have some branches removed. These are trees on city property that the city is responsible for. We'd publish on Facebook what we're doing, we'd send letters to any resident that, I mean, the tree that is on city property in front of their house
right,
is their tree. It's not their tree.
right.
But it certainly feels like it.
They planted it, but it's on city property.
So letting them know that we're going to come out and cut it down is more than just being kind. It's politically
Sure.
essential. So we give all the notice that we can. We go, we cut them down. The ones that are diseased, maybe next year we do those. The ones that are damaged, we may have more time, or the solution may be different. But everybody has an understanding of what we're going to do. If we know how many trees have to be cut down, we can then take a bid from a tree service, and we say, well, you know, we have 20 trees that need to be taken down. They need to be taken down in 60 days, and we can get bids and move forward and get the thing done. Now, some of the trees have already been cut down. We have a couple on Main Street, just south of the Presbyterian Church, north of the Christian Church, that were
I saw that.
ash trees, and they've been cut down.
Mm-hmm.
So they still need to be grubbed down and everything.
Yeah,
People have paid for it themselves, and great. That's
yeah,
two less trees we have to pay for.
sure. You think they'll
But
send you a bill
They may, but
when they find out everybody else is getting their trees cut down?
this is like the ash tree that I cut down at my house. I spent $1,000. It was 5 years ago, and you know, city didn't pay for it. I paid for
Right.
it because the thing was kept falling on my house.
Sure.
they may submit a bill, I would not honor it
Right.
necessarily, so. But we need to get out there and get the rest done, so you feel that, you could work on a program like this where
I mean,
we go up and down every street, mark the trees?
yeah, I could definitely, I mean, so what you're talking, this is called a level 1 tree risk assessment, okay? So I'm tree risk assessment qualified. So I would just drive through pretty much in my car, you know, in my truck. I can see these things from my, my windshield. I don't have to get out and climb a tree or get my bucket truck out to know if your tree's dying or falling over.
Right.
So, a level 1 tree risk assessment could easily be done. I see, you putting an X on it to remove it. I would say 99% of the trees are going to be ash trees. So city right away is the side of the sidewalk. What if there's no sidewalk? How far do you guys?
Tony would have to work with you. We can go onto Beacon website and get a fairly good indication of where the right-of-way line is, and if it gets to be a tree right on the right-of-way line, or we don't know, maybe we mark it anyway, and then indicate that it's questionable and have a surveyor determine whether it's on private property or public property.
Sure.
Or if the surveyor may cost more than just getting rid of the tree. I have no idea. And so we'd have city staff assisting in identifying where the right-of-way line is, and then getting the trees marked.
Okay, and then probably the cemetery also.
All public.
Okay.
All public grounds. So
all right.
Down in the park, over in the soccer fields, and the Legion Park, where Spikers used to live. What park is that called?
Scout Park.
Scout Park. Thank you. Identifying them all, counting them,
Maybe
having them marked.
getting a map, city map, and maybe putting a point so that we would know.
Yeah, or I could at least put the street I'm on, going north to south and east to west or whatever. My recommendation is for removal is going to be obviously the highest targets are going to be people, right? That's what you're worried mostly about. Trees are going to fall on people, where people hang out would be the parks. So that would be the highest risk target areas.
We got a lot of dead trees in the right of way, which also.
Sidewalks and kids riding by. I mean, sure.
Cars driving down the street.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's something that could definitely be done. I guess I would probably just have to. I mean, I'm sure like you would submit a bid to do a tree risk assessment. I mean, you guys have done you had Prudent Terra do it one time.
Well, they did an evaluation to see if we have any marketable trees.
Oh, okay.
That's what they did.
So
we've had DNR come in, and they've driven up and down and on the right of way, and they've done an inventory of.
Tell you what kind of trees you have.
How many of what kind of species we
Sure.
have, and we have that information. This is different from both of those.
Yeah.
Because we're going to mark the trees, we're going to count how many, and then we're
You
going
got to
to
request bids, yeah.
to have them cut down, removed, and drugged.
Yep. The one thing I will say is getting the trees removed. I mean, I have no problem cutting a few trees for the city. I mean, we do it every year. I cut some, you know, of the dangerous trees down and not expect anything in return. I mean, you guys do let me dump. That's not, I'm not trying to take that for granted. All I was trying to say is the city of Ames has thousands of ash trees. Their bid's gone up twice already this year and nobody's bid on it because every tree service is so busy because they're doing so much residential. There's not as much money, obviously, in city work, commercial work, because you're trying, you know, you're going lower bids or you're doing 200 trees and someone's going to say, well, we're doing it for $700 a tree when they're doing, you know, $3,500 trees in a day. You know what you understand what I'm saying. So, if I do the tree risk assessment, I'm not expecting the bid on the tree work. Like that would not be at all any stipulation that I would do. I mean, I would specifically give you a bid for the tree risk assessment because I've never done a city tree risk assessment. You know, I've done homeowners residential's 1 or 2 trees. Say you're buying a new house, the tree, they want to make sure that it's healthy. They would call me, I'd come inspect it. And, you know, I would give you a cover letter that says, in my professional opinion, this tree is healthy, you know, or causes low risk. But like I said, there will be no, if I do the tree risk assessment, there'll be no, I would not hold it thinking that I'm going to get a bid on to remove these trees. There's plenty of tree companies in the area that could probably underbid me, to be honest. I mean, they have better, maybe a little more, what is the word I'm trying to think of? They could do some of it quicker, like say Tree Hugger, they have cranes and stuff, you know. But I could definitely try to look up to see what it, you know how much Prudent Tariff charged to do the, I mean, I know it wasn't the same thing, but I'd like to know, I don't even know how to bid on a city like that to do it. You know, I would assume I could do it in a few days, you know, or even maybe even a day of driving around and doing it. I just don't know what a fair price would be to do that.
Well, what is an hourly rate for arborist?
Well, I would say, you know, me and a truck, probably like $150 an hour, you know, to do that. But, you know, that's to do a tree risk assessment, not just me to walk around. You know, I'm actually doing assessments on my, so I would honestly, I would have to do a little, let me do research before I give you a, you know, 150 an hour might be way out of line. I don't know, you know, so it'd just be one of those things. I think I could do it in a, you know, a one day, you know, of driving around. I'd do it on a Saturday or something, but
it's more than just driving around. It's actually getting out and marking them.
Well, yeah, sure, I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. We were going to send out a proposal to 3 certified arborists in this area. Ken pointed out that, gee, we have a certified arborist already in town. And so if you would be willing to give us a proposal, we'll certainly take a look at it. And if it's reasonable,
Sure.
You don't need to go to the trouble of getting 3 quotes necessarily.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, Deb.
I've already sent out the quotes and no one's ever responded.
No one
back.
responded. Yeah, I'd imagine everyone's just so swamped. Yeah, it's just crazy right now.
You know, I understand that Ames didn't get any bids, but we are in a situation where we have trees that are definitely a danger.
Sure.
And if we sit on our thumbs
Yeah, you have
and
to
don't
start,
do anything, then we have
liability
a larger
issues.
liability than if we try to do something, even if we can't get it done.
Yep. I totally understand. Yeah. And I'm all for it. I was just trying to let you know, like, I mean, Ames has their own tree guy and their own tree service, you know, that mows lawns and does trees. And he didn't even bid on those trees because he also has, you know, a private side too. But yeah, I can definitely look into it and I'll try to get it done in the next week or so, get you guys a proposal for the tree risk assessment. And it would be to mark the trees you know, maybe it would be an X with a, you know, a different color for each, like you said, a different color for, you know, if I think the tree could be pruned and saved, that's one thing.
Put a P on it instead of an X.
There, yeah. Yep, and then otherwise, you know, removal.
And you have until our next meeting's not till the 3rd.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll get something, even if I just drop off the proposal.
Or email.
Yeah,
or
there you
something.
go.
Yeah.
Do some research, take
And
your
it-
time.
Would be, we want to move quickly on this because if all the trees lose all their leaves, it's going to be harder, I believe, to tell.
Yeah, I know, I
Which ones?
understand,
They're all
yeah.
gonna look like they need cut down.
Yeah,
You can tell the
I-
ash trees, all the bark falling off.
yeah, I would be able to tell, I mean, you could have me, I could do a tree risk assessment if it was the dead of winter, but I understand what you're saying. Because homeowners maybe couldn't, you know, if I come put an X on their tree and they're like, there were leaves on it last year, you know, because a lot of people, that happened, you know, their trees looked great last year. And this year they're just stone dead and yeah. So, but yeah, I can definitely take a look and, I appreciate you guys, you know, getting at me, but I mean, I'm busy also, but I want to help too, you know.
Sure.
This is my community. I mean, I know I live out in the country, but this is my community, so I'd be happy to help.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank you, Billy.
coming in.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, no problem. I'll do some research and I'll get a hold of Ken or somebody and get an email. So thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Always like shut up.
I'm gonna
How
go.
are you? Good.
I don't have time to worry about much of any of that.
Deb, I'm gonna circle back to citizens forum because I forgot this.
Okay.
That you gave me. So we got a nice little thank you note, that they wanted me to read in the citizens forum and it got lost in my papers and I forgot it. So they wanted me to read this out loud and this is to Deb, Tony, Chris, and Dee. They say, thank you so much for your help you gave us during Old Settlers. You answered phone calls, questions, and everything else that came your way. We appreciate the helping hands and last minute favors we asked each of you. Moving tables, trash cans, and making sure outlets and electric worked. Thanks again, Maxwell Old Settlers. So that came from them. So
I do want to agree that the city staff does chip in and they work hard during Old Settlers to make sure that Old Settlers is successful every year. So
sure. Okay. Back to departmental reports. The sheriff's report. I have this in here.
Actually, there's two because we didn't get the one before,
There's
so.
two. You guys can take a look at that. Does anybody have anything that we need to reach out to the sheriff's office about? All right, hearing none. We will move on to the fire report. Looks like there's 5 calls of 27 people, no injuries or accidents, no maintenance, special events. They took down the trucks for to the market for 9/11. No future plans, nothing that the city needs to do. Anything from Tony on the fire side? Hearing none. Moving on, EMS department. They had 10 total page outs for Maxwell. 8 of those were responded. Average certified EMS personnel was 1 to 2. Cambridge to Maxwell, 2, one of which was requested by Maxwell for a CPR. EMS monthly meeting, training attendance was 4. Truck check was complete. CQI was completed by Story County Medical. Anything for the city? They said they would like to move forward on purchasing an iPad with cellular plan to use on their medical runs. It'll improve the quality and efficiency of the reports. They found the latest iPad Air with cellular is consistently around $750. Best Buy does have a new open box that is roughly $410. I'm not sure what this will do for the cellular plan for the city due to not having that information. Spoke with Deb and she stated that she would look at US Cellular to see what we can get from them. Looks like 2 gigabytes would be $20 a month. Unlimited data would be $25, and unlimited data everything would be $34 a month.
what is unlimited data everything
Oh, or every
versus
day.
unlimited data
I
basic.
think unlimited data basic, you're capped at 4G LTE data up until, was it like 6 gigs or something like that? And then it slows down after that. And then the unlimited data every day, I think probably doubles that. So you have 4G LTE data.
I think the everyday also has a hotspot within
Within it.
within it.
So that the iPad could be a hotspot for other data devices?
Correct.
I think so.
Do they have a need for that?
They have a hotspot now.
But they would be getting rid of the hotspot, wouldn't they? If they had the iPad
Every day.
Air, that well, the basic even. I mean, the only reason that they're using the hotspot is so that they can take their data out in the field, but the iPad Air would be the equivalent of that. It would have the hotspot in it.
Yeah.
The hotspot is for the monitors, heart monitors,
Oh,
so they can send it to a hospital.
Okay.
so they would need it either way. How much, do you know how much we spend on that a month?
19.
19. So it's almost better to do the unlimited data every day, have the built-in
Hotspot.
hotspot.
And get rid of the other.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, someone else needs to look at that plan because I'm going to tell you, I don't know anything about them.
I'll take a look at it. And I'll call Scott to make sure that that's sufficient.
Yeah, if they can get the open box for $410, and we can save the $19 a month and get rid of the existing hotspot, then the unlimited every day would be the way to go.
We may want to check into US Cellular as well. You might get a discount for being a customer. To buy that outright with the cellular plan through them. No, it's more.
I pulled up my account and went through our account.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was for the one that he was talking about, the Air.
Yeah.
It was more.
Okay. Okay. All right. Do I need a motion and approval on that? Or do we want to wait till next meeting till we figure it all out?
I would say that I'm in favor of them pursuing the everyday and getting the
iPad Air.
iPad Air, and if they can get the one for $410, then they should go ahead and get it. And if they can't, then bring it back to the council with dollar amounts so that it can be approved at the next meeting.
Okay.
So moved.
Moved by Steve.
Second.
Second by Ken. Discussion. Hearing none. Don't know where it ended up. So Steve.
Yes.
Lauren.
Yes.
Doug.
Yeah.
Ken.
Yeah.
Anything else for Scott on the EMS side? All right, hearing none, we will move on.
There's another.
On the EMS, there was a motion to accept Ryan. Is Ryan a new member or?
There's a couple of other notes back there. Kathy Smith's wanting to help write some grants for the department.
Missed that
We
page.
need to give her a wish list. There's a local person who would like to give the department training on suicide awareness. Would like to discuss combining the fire and EMS departments for their annual October breakfast and splitting the profits.
Oh, it's motion to
It's
accept
motion to accept.
the previous month's minutes.
This is
Oh, okay,
not for us.
No,
okay.
yeah, and I think this is all association.
Is,
Go ahead.
is there a formal request to combine fire and EMS into a department? Or is this
I
their,
think this just says for the October breakfast.
Just
okay,
breakfast.
Actually, Scott wants to put it into,
Actually, he wants to do that.
it would take a city code amendment because we
Right.
amended the code to separate them
To separate
years ago. And we can ask our, code editors to provide a model code where the two are combined. If they want to do that.
Correct.
Correct. Anything else? Okay, up next, a library report. Let's see. They did 220 books, 67 DVDs, 189 in attendance, 119 bridges, and 93 on hold. Does look like there is a resignation of a director as well that is in here. And those, the 3 open vacant spots will be voted on later in the meeting, it looks like as well, so. Anything for the library?
Now, I'd like to thank Joe Leonard for her services of, for the Maxwell Public Library.
Anything else? Hearing none, we will move on to Public Works. Let's see, streets. Most of all the street signs have been replaced. Need to install 3 new posts. Nothing new at the park. Pumped 1.4 million gallons of water, sold 1.2 million. Chris passed his water distribution grade 1 test. We have gotten MPDES permit for backwash water at water plant. Sewer pumped about 2.4 million gallons. September 19th, LEMNA will be here to look over the sewer plant. Anything for Tony on Public Works?
Where are we, replacing those street lights at? The
Logsons.
Yeah.
We have those back, don't we, Deb?
yeah, we've had them for a long time.
Will you also, you're still asking questions for Tony, right?
Yep.
Spotlights, the electrician, where he is on the part for spotlights south of town.
Streetlights, that's at Moms and Logsons, right?
Mhm.
Anything else for Tony? Hearing none, we'll move on to city clerk. They have made it through Old Settlers.
I got one other thing.
Yes.
Where are we on the bathrooms in the park?
Kathy finished up that grant. She also included the church stand in that as well, the outside, or a little bit of a spruce, but the bathrooms mainly. Finished up that grant, got the quotes that she needed, and submitted the grant, I'd say 2 weeks ago.
Before the first of the month.
Yeah.
So-
Because it included a lot, didn't it?
A lot.
Or is that a different one?
Nope, the SCCF grant, I think, was the inside of the bathrooms,
Yeah.
all new fixtures, all new, complete remodel on the inside, plumbing, everything, and then the outside as well.
So are they in working order?
The bathrooms now?
Yeah.
Yes, I would say yes.
Yeah.
They work,
Okay.
yes,
They're all functional, yes.
functional.
Anything else?
No, I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Working on FEMA, they're almost done with that. Working on year-end reports, annual financial report, street report, debt obligation report, and TIP reports. They are currently working with Justin Yarsevich from Simmering Corey on new ordinances, finishing up loose ends on the wastewater treatment plant and starting process for the new CDBG grant for Baldwin Street. Working through endpoint replacements and ready for annual reviews. Anything for Deb?
Well, Deb and Wes, wastewater treatment facility is still significantly in the hole. When are we doing a drawdown to?
We just got a whole bunch, so it's still, that was last month's. I
Okay,
haven't put in this month's.
it'll
It
be
was-
rosier next month, right?
It should be a lot rosier this month.
And FEMA, you're still working on that.
Yep.
And that's almost done. I think I talked to D and U, what was that, last week?
Mhm. We're into the volunteer stuff now. They're still reviewing and deciding what they're gonna give us.
The budget report, we are 17% of the way through the year. Public Works is significantly higher than that, but that's because we've already done our road repairs.
Yes.
Okay. And our capital project percent expended is way over, and that's because of emergency management.
Which is, yeah, the FEMA stuff.
That's FEMA stuff that weren't able to budget, and so that will be taken care of in a budget amendment. Everything else in the budget looks pretty good?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Doing good work. How about that?
Hooray.
Anything else for Dean Deb? Perfect. Wes, you're up.
All right. Thank you. Once again, I'll just hit the high points of stuff that we've got going on with you guys. First one, I think you guys got the memo. Thanks, Deb, for getting that in there. I'm always a little bit cutting it short on that, but the Baldwin Street reconstruction project. So right now we have been working with the FHWA and the DOT to to make sure we're meeting all their criteria for the SDBG grant funding. The DOT letting schedule has certain milestones we have to hit. Long story short, we're set right now for an April 2023 bid letting for that project that fits in with the DOT requirements for different check sets and things like that as we go. So the thing that for you guys on that is to be prepared for the funding side of it, and if you need our assistance on that, to make sure that I'm assuming GO is the way that you're going to go to fund the rest of that. Make sure that's in mind for that April 2023 letting. We've been doing work on this to keep on the schedule. It's a tight schedule, so the water main plans went into the DNR for the construction permit. We need to get that construction permit before October 1st, so that we have a better chance of the CDBG grant for that part of the project. So that's in. Expect that to turn around. The LMI survey is done. We do meet the requirement. We're not as high as we'd like to be, but we're above the requirement. So we do qualify, and continue to work with Simmering Corey on things they need for the CDBG grant side, including like the environmental, archaeological parts of that, right-of-way acquisition, things like that are coming. Wastewater treatment plant improvements.
Before you hit
Oh,
that,
yeah, go ahead.
you said you not had any follow-up conversations with Tiana.
Yeah, I left a
Is that,
message.
is that because
I don't know.
she's not responding? Or?
Yeah, I left a message for her a while back saying, hey, just like to get together with you, and I have not heard back from her. But I have not chased her, followed up after that initial conversation. It was after you mentioned it at a council meeting a couple months ago. So I need to follow up again with her just to see. And I don't know if you guys have had any conversations with her.
Well, let me know if this becomes a problem.
Okay.
Because maybe a different financial advisor that's closer to home might be a better idea.
Yeah, sure. I'll continue to follow up with her and see, but let you know. Yeah, any other questions on Baldwin Street?
So once the bid letting is done, then what's the next step after that?
So bid letting, then it's on the construction.
So we could be looking at springtime.
Yeah.
Late spring.
So that's the target we've been shooting for. That fits in with the funding for the SDBG grant. It was kind of the timeline that was looked at a while back was the 2023 construction. So that would be the 2023 construction season.
So spring of 23.
Spring of 23, break ground, and then completion then in fall or late summer 2023.
I think we're gonna need a lot of information about road closures and all that
Oh,
good
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. We're
Impact significant
yes, definitely.
transportation issues.
We are at the front end of this. There's a lot more information that's going to be coming at you as we go. Like I said, we've been working to get the clearances for the environmental, just the grant funding part of it. And then as we go, the part of the work that yet needs to be done is some of the revising the work to be DOT standards. And with that, we'll have, I think we have some staging already, but we'll be able to get into more of the details with you guys on the staging of that, how that's going to break down for road closures and things like that. It's going to be messy. It's not going to be great, but at the same time, we need to make sure we know what it's going to be so that we can inform the public and let people know.
Can't be any worse than half the roads and names.
Yeah, well, it's not much better in some places either. So anything else on Baldwin?
I think we don't need to do it then if the other road's worse.
I think you'd have some people that would
Think
say,
you
might
have-
disagree.
Next meeting, this place would be.
We'd have a full house.
Okay, wastewater treatment plant, we're working to, as mentioned in the clerk or Tony's report there, we just got some final paperwork stuff to get to Devin and Justin and to the SRF to close out that one, so we're working on that one. Skip down through everything. There was some correspondence here lately about the high school construction and finalizing some of those easements. I talked with Deb a little bit about it tonight. I thought we were all kind of good on that, but apparently there's still some outstanding questions on their end. So we're going to track down what we know on our end. The only question that I could find that was outstanding was we had asked the question on if there needed to be some more liability protection for the city due to the sidewalk with the railing next to the loading dock. I can't recall. It's just been April of 2021 when we last talked about that with them. I thought maybe that we had got a call back from our legal counsel that said they were covered in some way, shape, or manner or form, but I couldn't find documentation of that.
yeah, I remember that council meeting because you came back and said that we are covered by it under some
Okay.
umbrella.
That's what I was recalling, but in written correspondence, all I could find was me asking the question. I couldn't ever find the answer to the question. So if we can confirm that, then we can get back to them and say, yeah, we're good. We have no more comments. Because they keep asking if we have more comments. I think we can give you all our comments. So if we can confirm that, then.
Because I think it also fell on the school as well. I think there was two types of it.
So if we can confirm that, then it's just a matter of, we'll probably have a council resolution here in the next council meeting or so, to approve the easements that we all thought were done. So,
I know residents, and I also share their concern, the ditches are non-existent anymore.
yes. Yeah. And so I have not been to the site since, before the last council meeting, a week or so, I think. And it was still under construction. It was all grassed over. I have not seen the status of it now, to see if they're close to being done.
Yes, you can go, you drive by it after this.
Okay.
And you should be able, they've done I don't know if they've done all the grading. They may come back in and dig out those ditches, but they've done a lot of grading around
Okay.
it and taken all that top weeds and grass out.
Okay, all right, so they have done
It's
some
all
of their
scanned off now.
Okay, all right, good, because that's what it needed to be, because what happened was those ditches, in the big erosion storm that caused a lot of the issues to start with, those ditches filled up with silt, and then weeds grew and
There's no ditch.
Yeah.
It just
it
down.
just kind of down, and by the grading plan that was submitted with the site plan, there is a ditch there. So.
You know how steep that ditch is?
I don't, but what the city can request, I think appropriately, is verification, either as-built survey or certificate that the roadway ditches were graded according to the site plan. I don't think that would be out of line, and it would be normal for what cities ask on other things, so.
I think there's a manhole well behind where the scoreboard was on Woodlawn, and it's completely covered over.
Yeah, so I would recommend, and I can help ask that question of, hey, if you're done with the grading, we need verification, either survey, certification, or as-built survey that shows that this is your property, the right-of-way ditch is your property. The city wants confirmation that it's been put to the grades that were shown in the site plan.
Yeah, and they put 2 driveways in. I think one of the driveways is for, I think they're bringing a pre-built 2-car garage.
Yeah, the emergency access driveway that's there on Woodlawn.
Yeah, that's temporary.
It is permanent because that's the ambulance entrance for the football games.
So there's supposed to be 2 there.
There's only supposed to be 1 entrance.
Okay.
There's 2 entrances.
There's
Okay,
two,
so the
right.
one would be temporary then.
Okay.
Or it should be temporary.
It's just big rock right now.
Well, I don't know I thought the one they had was Big Rock, but maybe they put in another one too.
I do, because one of them has a culvert in it.
Well, the one with the culverts is the one that was on the
Got
site
2
plan.
tubes. under
Yeah,
the
it has
one,
2 tubes.
And
that
there's
are
no
plug.
covered.
Yeah.
But then there's a temporary one that becomes a dam.
Take a look. I think there's plenty of light.
Okay.
That you can drive by and see those.
Or we'll figure out a time to swing by and check it out again, but, and I can send out some correspondence similar to how we did the original comment letters that, hey, if you're done with the grading, we need confirmation that the roadway ditches are per plan. Okay. Or maybe even just ask them, hey, to notify us when they believe construction to be done, so the city can do our final punch list checklist for city property issues. Okay.
How did the meeting with the residents go?
What?
How did the meeting with the residents along?
Oh, the Woodlawn Stormwater Study,
Woodlawn,
public
yeah.
improvement. Yeah, we talked about that last month a little bit. It was a good meeting.
Yeah.
We got good input from the public. They're inclined for a piped option rather than an open cut option or open ditch option. So, but
We
at
just
this
got to
point,
figure out funding.
at this point, yeah, and that's I kind of glanced over that one because it's a minor one in the grand scheme of things. But the capital improvements planning for that project, the funding, construction schedule, things like that have to be determined before that goes forward anymore. So that's in the city's court for future planning of that project. So, and we're available for whatever you need help doing that too. If you need costs, if you need more detailed stuff, always available to help out. Sorry, I'm making my notes here. And then the last thing I've got, if there's no more questions on high school construction. The last thing I've got is, and Tony mentioned in his report, we now have the final, sounds like we have the final NPDES permit for the water treatment plant. So I'll get that from Tony. I don't imagine it changed too much from the draft or the preliminary draft. So we did a review of that and what that means to the city. Short story, if I can, tend to ramble, but the water treatment plant discharges its backwash water directly to the creek. DNR has admitted that they historically have neglected to classify that as a wastewater discharge when they really should be. Now they're catching all their oversights, and so they have issued this draft permit to address the water treatment plant backwash as a wastewater discharge. There's 3 things that they're looking to put in the limits on that is pH, iron content, and total suspended solids, also known as TSS. So There's 3 things they're looking at in that permit. The compliance schedule for that permit runs 59 months. By statute, they can't go longer than 5 years, so that's why they make them all 59 months. So within 59 months, which is sometime in late August-ish, 2027, we would have to be in compliance with the new limits for this permit.
You're talking another $4 million like we had.
No,
Okay, fantastic.
I dearly hope not. So what that means, in short, is we either have to treat the discharge down to what it has to be. In looking at the limits, more than likely that's just iron removal. Iron removal, I don't have costs on that, but it would be a specific treatment. It wouldn't be a whole large scale treatment like the treatment plant. It would be their specific treatment options you can do for iron. That's kind of the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, and I recommend it in this memo. There's more than I'm going to read there, but the DNR tends to have a heavy hand when they first come out with these because they don't have any data. They don't know what we're backwashing, so they tend to kind of go hard. I think they do have some testing requirements in the permit. We think it would be beneficial to get some good testing data for about a year's worth, weekly tests of all the backwash events, so that we have really good data to show what the fluctuations are in our iron and our TSS and our pH, so that we can go to the DNR and potentially adjust that permit. And we do have the option to do that if we can show with this data, hey, look, you're telling us we need this right here. They've made assumptions based off of our permit application for the water treatment plant, based off of typical expectations. If we come to them with real data, we may be able to show, look, we don't anticipate to exceed these limits. We recommend or request that we don't have the limits. Best case scenario, if the tests come back in our favor, we don't have to do anything. We continue discharging as normal because we're not going to exceed the limits that they have. Worst case scenario, we have to build some specific treatment. In the middle there is if we're not able to make those limits and we do have to do something, it's better to not have an NPDES permit if you don't have to. So the option that I would recommend looking into heaviest is getting it to the city sewer. Now the challenge with that is the wastewater or the water treatment plant's not at a position to gravity flow to the sanitary sewer, I don't believe. The other part of that is the water treatment plant sits on the opposite side of a private property to the nearest sewer. Or you have to go all the way out to Maine and out and around. So
the Dollar General has a lift station to a manhole on Main Street, and I mean a little lift, a little pump, forcing to that same manhole, or
it's certainly doable, and more than likely has a much lower cost than any kind of specific treatment we might have to do for iron on site. So that's really, I give you the bookends, but that's really where we're probably going. Might be a little bit optimistic to think that we're not going to have to do anything. I still think doing the tests, it would run about $1,600 for a year's worth of tests to get weekly tests of all those backwash. I think, in my opinion, that's worth it because that's good data that you can take to the DNR. And even if it shows that we still need to do something, it shows that we're real data. So, and if you keep us in the loop on that as those results are coming in, if we're seeing that, look, it's not looking any better, we can tell you, all right, you can stop testing because we know where this is going.
So it's just test. So they just get a sample and send it in somewhere, or
Test America, I think, does all the tests. The TSS and the iron is a common test. We're doing an iron study in Ogden right now, same kind of test. Basically, it would just be we coordinate with Tony that he would have to take the samples and just send it to the same test lab that he probably sends a lot of the wastewater plant samples to. So they're pretty inexpensive tests. So if that's something you want us to pursue with Tony, we can get with him and tell him what tests we would need to get and get that lined up with him.
Absolutely.
So on the back of that memo for your information is kind of a recommended schedule of steps to achieve compliance. Included in that is a lot of the DNR's compliance requirements. They have progress reports they got to do annually, action plan, things like that. But some of the first ones is the sampling, and then evaluate that data. And then if we have to do any kind of design and construction of either a treatment or a pump station, how that fits in, so that by August of 2027, we're sitting pretty with the DNR. So kind of hopefully give you some game plan for moving forward on that one.
Do you need approval to do a scope of work?
You know, if you want me to put together a scope to assist with all that, I'll certainly get that pulled together.
If you don't need one, then
Yeah, all you gotta do is ask, and I'll get you one.
Can you please do one?
Okay.
Thank you.
Done.
Yep. Anything else, Wes?
That is all I have.
Anything for Wes?
Yeah.
Hearing none, we will move on to Parks and Open Spaces Board. Is there anything for them?
it's not on the agenda.
Okay, perfect. All right, we will move on to item 6. This is the first reading of an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances for the City of Maxwell, Iowa, pertaining to alcoholic beverage control. You may remember that just last month that we approved those legislative changes. So this is just different language that they decided to put into this.
Move, we open the public hearing.
Second.
Moved by Steve, second by Ken. Discussion. Hearing none. Lauren,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ken,
Yeah.
Steve.
Yes.
Public hearing now is open for the first reading of the ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Maxwell, Iowa, pertaining to alcoholic beverage control. This time we will take public input for this ordinance.
And like you said, these are things that we have to change because the legislature made some changes. I compared our current ordinance with these proposed ordinances, and essentially it is using a phrase retail alcohol licensee or license or licensee instead of the phrase liquor control permit. So the changes were not terribly great. In 12005 number 2, the old ordinance had a real long paragraph because there was a difference in the time that you could sell alcohol on Sundays rather than the rest of the week. And the legislature got rid of all that, and now it's just
2 to
you
6.
can't sell 2 to 6 any day of the week. So that simplified that. And other than that, there really weren't any changes that I could find. So if anybody else in the public has any questions?
Actually, it says that not only sell, but you cannot dispense any alcohol, so nothing after hours.
And one of the things that was in the ordinance under where was it? You now forward under 12003, you forward to the police chief instead of the what it used before is a generic term for a public,
Safety.
public safety officer or something like that.
But it
Which
also,
may mean that we have to designate somebody to be the police chief. So we'll have to check that out.
it does say, if you read on, it says the fire chief may also inspect the premises to
True.
determine. So,
You can get, but that just means you can get input from two sources, the police and
the fire,
the fire.
gotcha.
I think what the police chief part of it is they're inspecting and investigating the people who asking for the permit.
Gotcha.
Fire chief is just going in there and saying, you can have 60 people in here at one
Those
time.
are all
And
limitations,
fire and
yeah.
all that suppression work, so.
Any other public comment? Going once, going twice. I will take a motion to close the public hearing.
So
Moved by Ken,
Second.
second by Doug. Discussion? Hearing none. Doug?
Yep.
Ken?
Yeah.
Steve?
Yes.
Lauren?
Yes.
Item 6.
Whoop,
Oh,
we still
now
have
we need
to
to vote on
Oh,
vote
there you go.
on the first reading.
Can we waive the second and third?
Yes.
No. Oh, you published it so that we could?
Yes.
There you go.
Awesome. Good girl.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Doug to approve the first reading and waive the second and third. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Lauren. Discussion? Hearing none. Ken?
Yeah.
Steve?
Yes.
Lauren?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Item 6B, first reading of an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Maxwell, Iowa pertaining to all-terrain vehicles. Is there a motion to open this public hearing?
So moved.
Moved by Lauren, second by Ken. Discussion? Hearing none. Ken?
Yeah.
Steve?
Yes.
Lauren?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
The public hearing is now open for the first reading of an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Maxwell, Iowa pertaining to all-terrain vehicles. Again, if we remember correctly, the legislative changes to this are pretty drastic, which essentially saying that you can, in the state or the city of Maxwell, you can drive your ATV anywhere. The only places that an ATV cannot drive is on a 4-lane highway or interstate. And I think that's it.
So 210 is wide open now?
I believe so.
only, I think, isn't that only to get from 1 mile to the next mile?
That was just to cross it.
No, I don't
To
think
cross
so.
it is the interstate.
No, I think
no.
it's
And
open.
It's
and
open.
railroad beds. but-
Because it's not a 4-lane highway.
And there's no charge for permits now, right, as well?
Correct. Cannot charge for permits.
If you look at, the second page of this, which is 7506, paragraph 6, direct crossing. These things may make a direct crossing of a highway that's not part of an interstate system, providing all the following occur. So, you can cross 210, you can't drive along it.
There
You
you
can
go.
cross it as long as you're doing it at a 90-degree angle. You go to a complete stop, you yield the right of way. If it is a divided highway, such as Highway 30, which we don't have, it's only made at an intersection. And so here they could cross it going from private property directly across to some other private property. But you still have to cross at a 90-degree angle. But it says it's made from street, roadway, or highway on which an ATV is authorized to operate. So if you're going from your private property to your friend's private property, apparently you might be able to do it. But
They made it very
you
vague.
still can't drive
Yeah.
along
Can't drive.
unless that is changed elsewhere in the code. What this doesn't do is this does not eliminate the licensing provision that we have or anything else. This just brings the code, brings it into compliance with
So, under
state
number
code.
1, 7506, number 1, on the first page.
7506.
Paragraph 1.
The city may regulate.
Section 1, you mean? Okay.
Section 2, 7506, paragraph 1.
Did you have a question?
I'm good now.
Okay.
Thank you.
The city may regulate, and we currently have in our code regulations. So if we don't want to regulate it, we need to get it out of the code.
Correct.
So,
Which I think, isn't that something that we were going to change? We have to redo that whole thing anyway, right? Because we can't charge fees anymore for ATV licenses.
As long as they're registered with the county.
If the machine is registered with the DNR or the state or whoever it has to be, then we can't do it. But if it is not, then we can.
And I think we made the decision at our last meeting to not. Were you here?
Can't remember.
we weren't going to, but this doesn't accomplish any of that.
Yeah, correct.
And you're right, Ken, that first paragraph says that you can drive along 210 in town because a city can regulate and may designate streets within its quadrilateral limit. And we've done that and say you can't be on 210. So the city may regulate it, including the 2-lane primary and secondary road extensions in a city, which may be used for the operation of such vehicles. So currently, our code says you can't. And this allows us to eliminate that.
Sue?
Is there an age limit for driving an ATV? I mean, at what age
You have to
can
be a
they?
licensed.
Because I have seen young children, like maybe 11, 12 years old, driving them around our neighborhood.
And that would be something with Story County that they have to enforce that.
So who would I call to notify them that this is going on?
Sheriff.
The sheriff's department?
Yeah, since it's a
'Cause
moving violation, that's, the sheriff's office.
It's scary. They just fly, and I've seen them just fly across 210. Scary.
Anything else for the public on this ordinance? Hearing none, I will take a motion to close the public hearing.
So
Moved by Steve,
Second.
second by Ken. Discussion. Hearing none. We're gonna leave off. I'll start at the beginning. Steve,
yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ken.
Yeah.
Is there a motion to approve item 6B?
And waive second, third reading. Yes.
Moved by Doug to approve 6B, first reading of an ordinance amending the code of ordinances for the city of Maxville pertaining to all terrain vehicles and waive the second and third reading. Is there a second? Second by Ken. Discussion? Hearing none. Lauren?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Ken?
Yeah.
Steve?
Yes.
Okay.
6C.
6C, public hearing on community development and housing needs assessment. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
Yes.
Motion made by Doug,
Second.
second by Lauren. Discussion. Hearing none. Doug?
Yes.
Ken?
Yeah.
Steve?
Yes.
Lauren?
Yes.
public hearing on the community development and housing needs assessment is now open. Is this where I need to read?
No.
No, okay,
Not yet.
not yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting too excited, Doug.
I know. Preparation.
So you can see the housing needs assessments to help with the Baldwin Street water main improvements, the street reconstruction, an EMS vehicle ban shell, and park restrooms, the Heart of Iowa Trail, Arch Bridge erosion project, and City Hall and library model expansion. Any discussion?
We've been talking about City Hall and library remodel for decades,
Mhm.
yet we're still calling it a medium.
Why
When
is
does
it a
it become a
medium?
high?
Yeah, let's bump that up, shall we?
Whenever council decides to.
I suggest we move it up and call it high, so we maybe get it done.
So our high priorities would be Baldwin, water main, Baldwin Street construction, the Heart of Iowa Arch Bridge, and the City Hall and Library remodel, which would be as high a priority as Baldwin and the Heart of Iowa Trail Arch. I would leave it where it is. Let's get the high priority ones done and then work on the other things. But that's just my opinion.
Council discussion.
Says
I still,
following projects are medium priorities. City Hall, library, low.
We're always low on the totem pole.
Do you want us to put you down like very low? Or we can bump you up to very high.
How about very high?
Yeah, yeah.
Extremely high.
As long as I'm not very low.
Okay, there you go.
As long as we don't take you off the paper.
Yeah.
Any other public comment on public hearing on community development and housing needs assessment?
I think it's a good document.
Mhm.
But that's not a public comment, I guess.
There you go. Hearing none, I will take a motion to close the public hearing.
Yeah.
Motion made by Ken. Second by Doug. Discussion. Now you can talk. Steve.
I think it's a good document.
Any other discussion?
What are the housing needs assessment? What are the housing needs?
Part of that is the Baldwin Street, that whole project where it's going to be water, new water main and all that.
The title of this document is Community Development and Housing Needs Assessment. And I would agree that most of the things listed here are community development, but they tangentially support the housing needs when you're talking about redoing this Baldwin Street and the water lines that are in need of repair.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
So
not-
nothing directly for a housing that benefits or that reduces the need for housing in this plan.
Did we already vote?
Thank you.
Are we already closed?
No, we're closed and we're just
We were
under
discussing.
council
Discussion.
discussion right now.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Steve,
Yes.
Lauren,
yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Yeah.
Ken. Okay, now I'm not 100% sure what to do now. I think I have to, are we approving the resolution or do I need
You have
to
to
another?
approve the resolution.
Okay,
Move approval of the resolution approving a community development housing needs assessment
Moved by Steve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Lauren. Discussion. Hearing none. Lauren,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ken,
Yeah,
Steve.
Yes.
All right, public hearing on submission of item 60, public hearing on submission of CDBG application for water system improvements. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
Yes.
Moved by Steve,
Second.
second by Doug. One of you bald, gray-haired people.
What are you people? Did you just say that?
Yeah.
and that's why I'm.
gonna vote no then.
Doug and Lauren. Any council discussion? Getting late. Hearing none. Doug, I about did it again.
Yes.
Ken,
Yeah,
Steve,
Yes.
Lauren.
Yes.
Now, we'll make the public hearing announcement. I need to explain the need for the activities that was identified. The need for the proposed Maxwell Water Main Improvement Project is due to a need to provide residents with the target neighborhood with safe and high-quality water supply. The project will be funded with a combination of CDBG funds and general obligation bond. It is estimated the total project will cost $632,066. The grant application will be submitted to the Iowa Economic Development Authority no later than October 1st, 2022 at midnight. The city is requesting $300,000 in CDBG funds for the proposed project. The project will result in a target neighborhood benefit, and based on a 2022 LMI survey, 51.79% of the residents living in the city who will be impacted by the project are of low and moderate income. The proposed project activities will take place in the city of Maxwell within the existing public right-of-way along Baldwin Street between North Street and 6th Street. The proposed project will...
so your Fifth Street, right?
Shouldn't that be between North and Fifth Street?
Yes.
Yes,
Wes is shaking his head yes,
sorry.
or nodding his head yes.
I will
That is correct.
restate that. The proposed project activities will take place in the city of Maxwell within the existing public right-of-way along Baldwin Street between North Street and 5th Street. The proposed project will not result in the displacement or relocation of any persons or businesses. No person will be displaced by the proposed project. The nature of the proposed project involves the construction of 1,126 linear feet of water main, 2 fire hydrants, related service connections, excavation, and restoration work related directly to the replacement of water mains.
Did you repeat that?
To which part?
No. Well done.
Any public comment on the public hearing on submission of CDBG applications for water system improvements? Hearing none, I will take a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Moved by Doug.
Second.
By Steve. Second by Doug. Discussion.
That was good.
Call them Alex.
There you go. Hearing none. Steve,
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ken.
Yeah,
Is there an approval of the submission of the CDBG application for water system improvements?
make a motion to improve it.
That's a motion made by Ken. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Steve. Discussion? Hearing none. Lauren,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ken,
Yeah.
Steve.
Yes.
Okay. Where am I at now? I forgot.
7A.
Resolution
No,
well,
you
no.
guys forgot the,
F.
F.
Resolution endorsing and authorizing submission of CDBG application.
We haven't done the
No, we haven't
the
done
resolution
E.
on
Okay,
the
sorry.
matching funds.
Resolution committing matching funds for CDBG application. Is there a motion to open up a public hearing?
No,
You don't have to.
well, yes, I suppose we should do that. It's under public hearing, so I'd move we open the public hearing.
Moved by-
On the, committing of matching funds.
Moved by Steve,
Second.
second by Lauren. Discussion? Hearing none. Doug,
Yes.
Ken,
Yeah,
Steve,
Yes,
Lauren.
Yes.
Public hearing for item 6E, resolution committing the matching funds for CDBG application is now open. Is there any public comment?
what this does is, the city passes a resolution in which we commit the use of about $400,000 for funding the city's share of water main improvements. And this $400,000 would be for the construction and engineering and design of the project
There you go.
and actual construction, yeah, and construction.
Any other public comment? Hearing none, I will take a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Moved by Steve,
Second.
second by Doug. Discussion? Hearing none. Ken?
Yeah.
Steve?
Yes.
Lauren?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
The item 6E, resolution committee matching funds for CDBG grant application public hearing is now closed. Is there an approval or a motion to approve the resolution committee matching funds for community development block grant application?
So moved.
Moved by Steve,
Second.
second by Lauren. Discussion? Hearing none. Steve,
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ken.
yeah.
Item 6F, resolution endorsing and authorizing submission of CDBG grant application. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Moved by Steve, second by Ken. Discussion? Here.
What this does is, authorizes the seeking of the balance of the funds needed for the project, which is about $300,000.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. Lauren,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ken,
Yeah.
Steve.
This was a motion to close the public hearing?
No, this was a motion to open.
Oh,
You
to
just had,
open,
yep,
okay.
you just
Yes.
had discussion. The item 6F, resolution endorsing and authorizing submission of CDBG application public hearing is now open. Is there any public comment?
Take a motion to close it.
Motion made by Ken to close,
Second.
second by Steve. Discussion. Hearing none. Doug,
Yes.
Ken.
Yeah.
Steve,
Yes.
Lauren.
Yes.
Is there a motion on the table to approve the resolution endorsing and authorizing submission of an application for community development block grant funds following this public hearing?
So moved.
Moved by Lauren,
Second.
second by Steve. Discussion? Hearing none. Ken?
Yep.
Steve?
Yes.
Lauren?
Yep.
Doug?
Yes.
Can I breathe real quick before
Yeah.
moving on?
Take a vote.
Okay. Business.
All right.
The business.
Item 7A, discussion action on poultry permit for 200 Webb Court. You can see the application in front of us for Rex and Caitlin Schumacher at 200 Webb Court. It looks like they're wanting 10 to 12 chickens. They're gonna put the chicken coop on the back side of their property line with coop with a yard. It's gonna be 2x4 construction with a 2x6 floor.
As you can tell from the site plan, which is totally unable to be read.
Unable to be read.
This is my copy.
Oh, this is my copy.
I've got this one, but I was paying more attention to this one, which makes sense to me, right? This one?
Well, that's just what the thing
I
looks like
see
as
Web
opposed
Court
to
200.
just-
where
their
it's
road.
located.
Okay,
Yes.
I know the one on the email.
I'm sure that
email
the
was-
original was much better than this, but there's absolutely no reason to be giving the council something that can't be read.
could we,
Pull it up.
yeah, pull it up maybe?
Hold on, we got slow internet.
Oh, you had a hotspot.
The one you received from Caitlin, was that okay?
As long as I get it back, I'll give it to you guys.
Yeah, we'll give it back.
Alright, there it is. Mine didn't go through. It's weird.
Yeah,
Mine comes
Real,
through
real
just fine.
legible.
Yeah, mine's fine, but mine looks like that.
Yeah. So you guys can take a look at this one.
I'm not 100% sure. 2 or 3 probably.
I checked it out.
I think you did.
She probably ran out of ink about that.
And it does look like a letter was sent out
To the neighbors.
to all the neighbors, and there were no oppositions filed back with the city. They do have a waste plan. That plan is to be used to compost and fertilize their garden. Looks like the coop itself will be an 8x8 with a 12-foot by 8-foot yard as well. With it'll be chicken wire and 4x4 post.
Move approval.
Moved by Steve to approve item 7A.
Second?
Second by Lauren. Discussion. Hearing none. Doug,
Yes.
Ken,
Yeah.
Steve,
Yes.
Lauren.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, moving on to item 7D, discussion and action on slide replacement at City Park. In front of you, you do have a quote from Cunningham Recreation for $2,309.77. If you look, you can see in the back the pictures of what looks like a puncture hole in the slide down at the park. The worry is that at some point that is going to get worse and it's going to catch clothing, skin.
I looked at it the other day. The reason it's poked up is that's where the leg is underneath at the base. I'm wondering, to save $2,000, if the legs could be moved or expanded so all the weight isn't right there on that one point, and then possibly caulk it, sand it down, fill it in, and see if we can smooth it out and get some more life out of it. Right now, it's not jagged.
The reason that you see such a high estimate is because when I originally started working with the gentleman again, after the other bubble replacement, the original thought was, well, let's just get another blue slide. And that place, that placement, that piece is not made anymore for this aged equipment. So we would have to then replace the entire section where it's connected, blah, blah, blah. So that's why it's a little higher than what I expected.
Gotcha. So it would be replaced with this hole.
The entirety,
Okay.
yeah. And then Doug's idea, yes, would save $2,000 on it.
And see if it works.
See if it could work.
Is the leg poking up through it because people are jumping on it?
I don't think so.
No.
I just think It's just a very small, the whole weight is concentrated in that one spot.
And over time.
I looked
it's
at some of
busted.
different, yeah, it's just went down over time.
Well, and one thing that concerns me, like if you look at this, I don't know if people are driving their skateboards, riding their skateboards down it or scooters or.
There are
It's pretty,
lines,
it's
There are
pretty.
a lot of
deep
scratches.
lots of scratches.
Yes.
Now, given you're never gonna stop that from happening. But
If you reinforce the bottom of it where that pole comes up.
Well, if you put a plate under that or spread out the whole weight distribution,
Right.
so it's not on a little peg pedestal.
so it sounds like to me, we wanna try to fix it ourselves. And then move on from there.
See if we
I
can.
think that was a motion made by Doug.
Second,
Okay, second by Steve. Any more discussion? Hearing none. Ken?
Sure, yeah.
Steve?
yes,
Lauren?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
All right. Where are we at?
Anti matter.
There we go.
Yes, please.
All right, item 7E, discussion and action on the appointment of library board members. I do have, I took a look at all of the applications that we have received. I have 3 in front of me. You probably don't have those because I have the hard copies. My recommendation would be to appoint Michelle Hand, Sharon Rink, and Amanda Sharp as the 3 library board of trustees. And you can take a look at those at all. My thought process was those 3 ladies have been very active in the library. And I think right now we need somebody who can get in there and try to fix what's going
What's
on. So,
happening?
what does the ordinance say about the library board of trustees?
I can pull that quick. We can have, I think we can have 2 out of towners.
2 out of towners.
Yep.
They need to be approved by the Story County Board of Supervisors, and yours was Michelle, right?
Yep.
So she will have to be approved by Story County.
So there are 5 members,
6 total.
6 members. So 4 inside.
There's 5 members, isn't there?
Pardon?
There's 5 members.
What's the
Total.
ordinance say?
I could be wrong.
We'll look it up.
I thought there were 6. Am I? Maybe.
Five. So the board shall consist of a minimum of 3 resident members and a maximum of 2 non-resident members. And the reason that this is coming up is because every 6 years, that's how long each term is 6 years. And so we had 2 that were up for their term limit, and then one of them, I think I saw earlier, was a resignation. So
The 2 outside would be who?
One of them would be
Just one.
Michelle.
we just have one.
Just one.
It'd be 4 and 1.
Would be
It's a
Michelle
maximum of 2 outside. So
Okay,
Yeah.
we can have just one.
so Michelle would be the one outside and we have 4 inside?
Yep.
And does the ordinance say that the mayor makes the appointment with the consent of the council, or the mayor makes the appointment?
Mayor
Consent of the
appointment with
council.
approval of the council.
There you go.
So you have your recommendation. I move the mayor's recommendation.
I second.
Moved by Steve, second by Lauren. Discussion.
And so we will be offering Michelle to the Board of Supervisors
Yep.
for their approval.
Correct.
Right.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Can I leave off on you? Steve,
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ken.
Yep.
All right, item 7G, discussion and action on Fall Festival. Lauren, is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
What is the fall festival?
That is, it's on the agenda. It's outside of the market's city park rental agreement, outside of regular farmer's market season. It's no different than a regular market, just a bit, it'll look a little different. Regular vendors, Tom the Terrific Balloon Man, just a little bit of it amped up. The 4-H gets involved with painting pumpkins, and so the kids can take pumpkins home, that sort of thing. So it'll be a little more amped up than a regular farmer's market, and it's also outside the city agreement. So that's why I'm here.
And what's the date?
October 22nd, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Coinciding with the school's color run.
Yes, coinciding with the school's color run.
Did I miss something, or was that all the information already provided and I just missed it?
No,
That's Lauren.
Okay,
Nope.
good.
nope,
Because sometimes I fall asleep easily.
nope, you're good. It's no different. It's outside the city agreement, so I will work with Deb on
So-
renting the park.
It'll be 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., October 22nd, and it's going to be kind of like a typical Mark in the Park, except you're going to be focusing on fallish things.
Yes.
Move approval.
Moved by Steve,
Second.
second by Ken. Discussion?
Will it be rental price agreed on for farmer's market?
Council?
I'm asking that it should be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I would have done it for nothing, but sure, we'll
I'll
take money.
donate. I'd
Yeah.
like to.
Yes.
Steve?
What is the
Yeah.
proposal?
What,
The proposal is for, well, you made the proposal.
That'd be,
Yes.
that'd be free.
Yeah.
I'll take free too.
I'll take that. I'll
Okay.
still second that.
There you
Okay,
go. Okay,
that's what we're voting on, right?
Yeah.
perfect.
Free.
Okay, so Ken,
Yeah.
Yes.
Steve, Lauren,
Yes.
Doug.
Free.
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 All right. All right, now it's everybody's
Thank you.
favorite time, discussion and action on trick or treat night.
All right,
Mr.
I'll
Church.
make a motion we do it on Sunday. Collins has already done it on Monday.
They've got Monday scheduled
Yeah.
already.
So Sunday,
So
Sunday's the 30th.
Sunday the 30th.
That's a motion made by Ken.
Times?
Time? What time do we usually do it?
4 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
4 to 6 o'clock?
No.
Steven.
I was thinking more like 1 to 2.
Usually 6 to 8, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Normal
Or is it
time,
5
6 to
then?
8 p.m.
6 to 8.
Is it 5?
No, is it?
No, it's just 2 hours.
That's a long time for those
Deb-
ghouls and goblins. to
Deb,
be out.
isn't it 2 hours?
Yeah, it's usually like
6
6.
6 p.m.
Okay.
4 to 6.
6
Do you
p.m.
not like handing out candy that late?
to 8 p.m.
I like handing out candy when I
October
can
30.
see.
October
Yeah, I
30th.
would agree.
So that's a motion made by Ken for October 30th from 6 to 8 p.m. Is there a second?
Second.
Ooh,
Lauren.
I'll give it to Lauren.
Okay.
Discussion. Hearing none. Lauren,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ken,
Yeah,
Steven.
Yes.
that was the quickest trick or treat one I've
When's trunk or treat?
since I've been here.
Be that same night.
There you go.
What's that?
Trunk or treat.
Trunk or treat be the same night.
Same height, yes.
Mhm.
Which will
Uh,
need a street closed, but that's later and that's you alone, so.
Okay.
7I, discussion and action on resolution improving the 2021-2022 road use report. In front of you, you do have the road use report.
Deb, page 4.
Huh?
We show that we've gotten rid of the backhoe, we traded it.
We traded one, yes.
The last line, is that the new backhoe?
Yeah, gotta get there.
The Caterpillar.
Yes.
Would you add to or correct that so that it includes backhoe and its model number?
Actually, that, I filled all that in and this is what shows up here. In the
Okay.
real report, it has that stuff.
Okay.
Does this amount, Deb, cover the extra things we got for it too? Didn't we get a claw and a different something or other?
This included the price of the backhoe.
Because I thought we bought some extra equipment too.
That's
that
extra equipment.
we didn't?
That's
It's
extra.
extra
That's
as
easy.
This is
opposed
just the
to,
vehicle.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But I can add Caterpillar backhoe to Caterpillar
yeah, I think that,
on the same line so that it shows up.
or so that it reads cat backhoe. If you have to go shorten it down. Whatever, it just, it's nice to be able to see that in the future.
Any other discussion?
What are if I go to page 1 of 6,
Yes.
transfer out $55,800.
That's to Baldwin Street.
Right. What is the column
Oh,
that is in it? Because
Road
on
use.
my copy, it's just black.
I can read road
Really?
use in there.
That was black.
I can read road use in there.
Road use.
So some of you get better copies than I get apparently.
Some of us have better.
Deb, why is that?
You
Because
had surgery on your eyes. You should be able to see that.
you're printing off
just
of
gotta do
what
this.
I sent and they're getting copies that I actually copied.
The first one is general
Yeah.
funds.
Oh, okay.
They're
So if
printing,
I open the PDF, it might be legible?
yeah, likely, yes.
Oh,
We're printing, you and I
okay.
are printing a copy of a PDF. They're looking at what she printed specifically from the original PDF.
See, if
I
you're
think-
smart, then you wouldn't be wasting your paper.
Well, I like to-
I make notes.
See,
Okay.
Two peas in a pod. Anything else?
I do get them done before 5 o'clock if you want to.
Thank you.
Yes,
you
you do.
do, you do, Deb.
Move approval of the
Resolution 2021.
road use report.
Motion made by Steve,
Second.
second by Ken. Discussion. Hearing none. Lauren,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ken,
Yeah.
Steve. Perfect. Discussion and action on weather sirens. I realized that this was on last month's agenda, but I wanted to touch base real quick. They have been ordered, but I think we need to stick with the recommendation of the, oh, it's like, I figured he had something.
Not a heart attack, just cramp in my leg.
I think we need to stick with the original plan as per the expert that came in and did the survey. I did do some checking because it sounded like that you guys wanted to get a generator up at the water tower. And it would just, the cost would be outrageous to do that plus the siren. And after talking to Tony, there is really no reason to have a generator up there if you don't have a generator down at the water making plant. Now, because if you're not making water, then there's no
Water.
sense. And then at that point, you have more costs. More costs.
Making water?
Yeah.
You pretty good. You making
So
water?
you can
Yeah,
make
water
gas.
making plant. I like it.
The other thing to also realize is on this scale that you have in front of you, we got disconnected from the TV, so I won't be able to pull it up. But on the scale that you're given, is only, has a 5,000 foot radius. The actual radius of the sirens themselves are 6,500 feet. So the trailer court should still be able to hear that. If for whatever reason we have a dead spot, which I highly doubt that's going to happen because we'll have 4 sirens in town when this is all said and done. But if there is, if that does happen, what the guy suggested is that we can go with a much smaller siren and stick it up at the water tower and do battery backup, and you would still be ahead that way. So we can get these 2 implemented, see what it sounds like, and then from there we can go.
So that would cover like the end of Rock Creek and the new development.
Oh,
that
this
you're
would cover-
talking about.
Yeah, it covers everything.
And the one at the water treatment plant then would cover everything else.
They actually, they overlap, like they completely overlap everything. So, these are a lot newer sirens. They have a lot higher output than the original ones. However, the original ones, we already obviously had sent things off to get fixed. So if they get fixed and we put them in, we're going to have the most sirens in Story County.
What's the little tiny circle in the middle?
That is
Just
the
circle over.
existing siren out of the sewer treatment plant.
And it stays,
That stays.
okay?
Yep.
And it's completely covered by the other 2.
Yep.
But that just provides additional support.
Yeah, additional backup. And the thing.
Putting it at the fire station means that all the people that live in the floodplain down here get notified. Of course, there's nobody living down in the floodplain.
Well, think of it this way.
Yes.
They're outdoor warning sirens, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Where are the places you're going to most likely be outdoors at? Probably the city park.
True.
Campground.
And so one of my other thought about this is storms move west to east. Typically, when the storm comes through, the wind is also moving west to east. You have a sharp cutoff point as soon as those winds reach the sound waves. And so we want to make sure the whole town is covered, including this side of town. While there may not be a whole lot of people that live on this side of town, we want to make sure that's covered, because that is, for instance, if we have our settlers and we have a severe storm come in, we want to make sure that everybody's warned. So,
Well, the council already decided this at the last meeting. And so what you're asking is the council reconsider their action.
reconsider
And
the
so
placement.
in order to reconsider, somebody who was on the prevailing side has to make a motion to reconsider. So is there anybody here on the prevailing side who would like to reconsider this based upon the mayor's and the fire chief's recommendation?
And the expert. This is
I
both of
don't- Everybody's an expert, as soon as you get 30 miles away from home.
them. Okay, there you go.
I'll make a motion and here's to reconsider and here's why. The mayor did not get to make that meeting. The fire chief was not at that meeting. I was also back and forth with myself at that meeting, asking a lot of questions. So yes, I will make a motion to reconsider.
That is a motion made by Lauren.
I'll second it. I think the mayor has brought up at least a couple good points.
Yes.
It's a second by Steve. Discussion. Hearing none. Steve,
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ken.
Yeah,
Now we have a motion to reconsider. Is there a motion to approve the original plans as stated in the package in front of you?
So moved.
Moved by Steve,
Second.
second by Lauren. Discussion. Hearing none. Doug,
Yes.
Ken,
yeah.
Steve,
Yes.
Lauren.
Yes.
Well, I thank you guys, and I think the city is going to thank you as well, especially since, we don't have to pay for battery backup since these places already have automatic generators
So
attached.
they've been ordered?
Yes,
What's the time?
12 weeks from the order date, and I ordered them the day after you guys approved them. So that Tuesday or Wednesday.
Will they then be installed as soon as,
Once they're in, they're gonna call us to get them implemented. So we're probably looking late fall would be my guess. before
After
they're
the
up.
hurricane season.
Yeah.
after, oh, okay,
Yeah.
what about tornadoes?
They
Tornadoes
can
in
come anytime.
December.
You never know.
December, yeah.
All right.
That's good.
Yeah. 7K, discussion action on certificate raise for public works assistant. As we have talked about in the past, every time that someone gets their certification, they get a 50 cents or a dollar raise. And so Chris got his drinking water distribution certificate, so we just need approval on that.
Does this mean that he will be able to do the testing for that Wes was talking about for the iron?
Do you know?
I don't know. I mean, there's no certification required to take the samples and send them to the lab. So
The certification that has qualified for does include some testing of water.
yeah, what's the certification that he got?
It's the drinking water distribution grade 1
Grade
test.
1.
Okay, that's on the drinking water side. The tests that we're going to be taking are actually wastewater side, even though they're for the water treatment plant.
Okay.
But yeah, he'll be able to help better manage the treatment distribution system, is what his certification will
I'm
help.
assuming this is a certification saying that he can make drinking water.
Make drinking water, yeah.
And distribute it.
And
Distribute it.
But now when the power's out, 'cause we don't have a
Right.
generator down there.
Move approval of the dollar increase in salary.
Moved by Steve,
Second?
second by Lauren, discussion. Hearing none. Doug?
Yes.
Ken?
Yeah,
Steve?
Yes.
Lauren?
Yes.
Discussion and action on nuisance properties. You have that recurring properties. And are there any updates that anybody wants to discuss at this time?
I have updates and requests, but I don't know what route you want to go. You want to talk about the new ones, or do you want to go the other route?
Let's start with the old ones,
Okay.
and we'll get
You have a report from whatever
safe
Yes.
builder.
safe building.
safe buildings.
We will get to those.
We'll get to those.
All right, take it away.
Do you want to start at the top?
Sure.
Work our way down.
So 400 Woodlawn, is that it?
Yep.
Not sure whose that is.
Anybody?
400 Woodlawn, right across north of the football field.
Carl Coconut.
Carl, okay. I think that detached garage still has a big hole in the roof. I believe that's still open.
Which one are you
I'm on the
There's the first one, page 1.
on? No. Oh, here it is.
So you're requesting a second letter, Doug, is that what you're doing?
I think it'd be appropriate, yes.
Next, 621 Fifth.
Is that the one with the barn in the background?
So C letter.
See letter, let's see letter.
Oh,
I
sorry.
think those comments are from the
Oh,
very first
okay.
Those are
round.
from previous.
Yeah. How about, does anybody have any updates off the top of your head on any of these?
I do.
Okay,
On the
Lauren,
first
you
page,
go. Yeah.
523 Metcalf, I need a second letter, Deb.
There's
Four.
also a ceiling that has caved in one apartment as of last week
I
from the
believe
rotted roof.
Yeah, we can't do any of that.
Can't do any
We can't
inside,
do
but-
any inside, it's only
That would
outside.
be-
No, I'm just saying that the roof, the rafters have got to be totally rotten because 3 of the apartments have sagging drywall, ceiling, and mold
We have,
and leaks.
we have an inspection report.
We do, and I'm honestly disappointed in the detail, but they obviously did not pass the safe building inspection. I can find
What's the next step to that? Deb, do we send them the safe building report?
That's totally up to you guys. You can send them the safe building one, or you can send it over to the
Attorney?
attorney.
Did we get any response from the first letter that was sent?
They moved the trailer.
into one of my other properties.
I would say that anything that, we have a report from safe building that, we send the report to the attorney for the attorney letter.
I agree.
I'm concerned about this because my granddaughter, her husband, and 3-month-old baby had to move out because of the problems at that location.
Yeah, and we're working on
We will
trying to
make
figure,
progress. We will.
trying to make the
Good.
progress as
We
best as we can under our legal means. Okay, anything else on that property?
No, sorry.
Anything else on page 1? Okay, page 2.
Did Tony take care of, 100 Army Post Road, City of Maxwell?
I don't know. I'm not the
I'll
outside
double check
person.
on that 100 Army Post. Okay. Page 2, anyone?
I have an update on 515 Fifth Street.
Okay.
I don't have the building report, but are they done with that, Deb?
515 Fifth Street. I don't know, Morgan, are you done with that one?
Well, I was gonna report that there's,
The house? No.
I will just report that progress is being made. And I don't see a safe building report in the packet, but
No,
progress is
I
being
didn't
made
see
and
it.
that's what we asked for, so. Is that why you're here?
No, I'm just watching.
No? Okay.
You guys are fun.
Maybe you
Turn
waited
it
this whole time.
You have low tolerance.
Yes, you do.
I don't watch any sort of internet stuff, so you guys are way better than all that.
Well,
Plus,
tune in Monday nights at, watch
Tune in
this
Monday night.
sitcom.
6:30.
6:30 PM, what's
That's
up?
why I'm here, and I'm way better in person.
Well,
Progress
perfect.
is being made, that's all we can ask for.
I thought we had the,
I think he didn't send one because progress was being made.
That's kind of what I figured.
Yeah, said they were looking at it. Didn't report on it, so.
Okay, well, I've talked to him. He says it's a nuisance
Okay,
because it is,
did he
but
say,
there's progress being made. So he said that I'm doing okay.
that's kind of what we,
But
it
he
should
told
also
me-
be noted that Miss Patrick is doing the work on her own. And I think that should be counted as
It's got a basement.
It does, in fact,
There you go.
right?
It does.
Every day, something better.
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Anything else, Lauren?
No, not on the
Okay.
second page.
Anything else, council?
Do we have 700 Main listed anyplace? I didn't see it on the list. But as I re-drove around, it's got a bus sitting in the backyard. It's been there forever in a garage. It's kind
I thought that was mine, but
Is that yours?
it's not.
of, all right. I think it's mine. And
Oh,
if we didn't
is
send
that
the first
Jason
letter, we
Sandy's?
were
I put
remiss.
7th Street instead of Main.
Oh, it's 7th Street?
Jason Sandy?
Sandy's.
Is
Yes.
It could be 700 Main.
So, I think that's why I was confused. If they need a second letter. Did
Yeah.
you send a first?
Yes.
Send,
It definitely needs
Or-
a second.
or what did we agree on? Just the reports to go to the attorney, correct? So second letter.
Did you get any response from Hayes?
Haynes? I can't spell either.
Haynes?
No, I did not.
So we sent a letter and no response.
No.
Nothing, no progress has been
Oh,
made.
Oh,
so,
wait. Are we back on second page, 521 fifth? Yeah. I skipped over that. I'm so sorry. If not, we need to go back.
We're
to
back
that.
on- we're
Page
still on there.
59 Maxwell.
That's over by the
Oh.
elevator.
so what I've seen there, just by me noticing, is that looks to me like it's organized chaos. But, it wasn't like it's just been thrown in, but again, it's still the same problem. So it's just been organized.
Want a second letter to them?
Please.
Okay.
With the second letter always has, is a little bit, less nice, saying that, no progress is made. It's going to be turned over to the attorney?
Yep.
Okay.
And how many days notice do they get on the second one?
Oh, I'd give them 60 days. They got a lot to clean up.
Anybody else have anything before?
I think Central Iowa Short Lines cleaned up the problem that I saw in the back. So I would consider that one done. Robert Barton, they need a second letter.
Wow, those are fucking housewives.
Can you mute your phone,
Please mute
please?
yourself if you're on the phone, please. Again, if you're on the phone, please mute yourself. All right. Anything else? That page?
521 Fifth Street,
Yes.
second letter.
Yeah. Did they tear off that back half yet?
Uh-uh.
No. Okay. Okay.
Oh. 421 Sixth, second letter.
He gave me a song and dance about shoulder surgery, and now he's having back surgery.
still request a second letter.
Okay.
Uh, 516 Metcalf. Second grass letter.
Did 520 sell?
Did, yep, and new ownership and fine.
So that's done.
Yep, that one's closed.
618, that was a safe building.
Yeah, and I'm requesting a second letter, but we can just send the safe building report to the attorney.
Right.
I'll request that done.
I don't think we ever sent a first letter because we were waiting for pictures and then you guys decided to send it directly over to Safe Building.
Because we've already
Done that a number
Sent.
of times.
first letters.
Oh, we had already passed that. What do we do now?
I'd say send the report to the attorney and let the attorney decide whether or not he feels that we should be sending another first letter. I mean, the last first letter we sent was months ago, but it's just gotten worse and worse. So I would send it to the attorney and ask whether, have him review the file and advise us as to what he feels we should be doing.
Okay.
And if he wants us to send a first letter, we will send a first letter.
A third first letter or so.
Deb, Josh, he called in on 620, that outbuilding. Did he tell you what needed to be done, or when did he say that was gonna be done?
No, he asked me what needed to be done. I said
Oh,
needed to be fixed or tore down. And he said, okay. So he hasn't done any work on it.
no, ma'am.
Do you want me to send a second letter?
I'll do
Yeah.
second letter. Randy Haynes is closed, 100 Maxwell Street. Uh, 108 Maxwell. It's only one truck in the back now. I'm gonna close this one because I don't know whether that's considered junk or not. So I'm gonna close this and just keep an eye on it.
There you go.
312 Maxwell, I request we turn that safe building report to the attorney, Deb.
Okay.
And 204.
The safe buildings.
Did you have that one? I don't know if I have that one.
Go for it, like the third page.
I don't know that do I have short address?
Nope, that should be my area,
Okay.
short.
And that's one of the new ones too, as well as a safe building.
I would say let's send the first letter.
And go on to the new ones.
That field, that picture you took, Doug, right here of the house north of soccer field.
That bees.
Do they have a bee permit?
No, they don't.
I suppose, could they be
That's
empty?
2.5, that's 2.5 supers of hunting sitting there.
Which they, I guess they could be empty, maybe,
It could be,
just
but we don't know.
You want me to send a first letter for these guys?
I think there's some weeds and some stuff that need attention there, yes.
Anything else, council, on nuisance properties? Going once, going twice. All right. Item number 8. Council Mayor report. Steve, you are up.
I don't think so.
Sure.
Don't we have some, oh, the alcohol licenses are under the consent. Okay. I don't know if anybody has noticed, but the school's been doing some construction work. And on Maxwell Street, I've received a number of complaints. They have their storage containers right along the curb, and then they park their pickups right next to that. And if anybody's parking on the other side of the street, you have, in essence, double parking and another
One lane.
vehicle, and it becomes one lane at the best of times.
Is this what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
All the way down, really.
And they have, oh yeah, because it goes down here. This is where they're,
and all the way up to Douglas.
Try it with a bus.
This with 1 S.
I
So that's how you spell it.
I think the city should be requesting that the contractors not double park. So there's plenty of room elsewhere for them to park. They may have to walk a little bit further, but it's a parking violation and we should enforce it if they continue to do it.
is that something you can help write up, Wes? Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
We've put up with it long enough.
2 years. Are we going on 2 years? Seems like 5, but
Halfway through football season, that's when they did, no, shoot, I'm wrong project, wrong nightmare.
Wrong nightmare.
Yeah, it's been over 2 years.
Over 2.
They've also done significant, I know it's not my turn, significant damage to all the roads with their track equipment. They've got 2 dumpsters sitting on the east side of Metcalf, right south of the old main doors. And they pull up there with cement junk and churn and jockey really hard on the streets there. So much damage, just like Woodlawn.
And that will be part of the final inspection, right, Wes?
That would be my recommendation.
Okay.
To review the city's properties in relation to the construction and to provide or to give direction based on that.
I think, the mayor can just call over to the school and, say, we will be enforcing our parking ordinances on, Maxwell Street, and Metcalf, for any double parked vehicles.
Green Park violation.
And not necessarily wait for Wes's,
Well,
Yeah, I'm gonna be putting together a recommendation email to you on some of the other recommendations for other bits of it. I'll include it in my stuff too, but feel free to.
I'll call. I will call Jeff tomorrow.
I also had a complaint about sidewalks down in front of the it's not a massage parlor. What is it? It's a
Massage therapy.
massage therapy building. Harrington's old place and Jans's old place, that the sidewalk is in dangerous condition. We had tripping people and dogs. Now, I looked at it, and yes, it certainly could be better, but then I looked across the street in front of CIS, and it's in worse condition than in front of Jans's or the massage therapy place. So as a council, we have a responsibility that if the sidewalks are dangerous, that we notify the property owners and are proactive in getting things fixed. And I noticed that there's was something from Megan about sidewalks also that was handed out.
Get that.
We got trees and sidewalks.
Well, trees that are ruining sidewalks.
They're lifting the sidewalk, yeah.
That will be taken care of with the Baldwin.
Yes, when we do the Baldwin thing next spring, those trees will go, and are the sidewalks all getting redone too, Wes?
I believe most of them, and we're infilling in some locations where there aren't sidewalks now.
I think we should, and I know it's not my turn, but I'm gonna speak anyway. Sorry, Steve. I think we should look into, because I've had this request by several community members now, sidewalk program that was discussed before my time, I think it was during your time, where we will either A, cost share that, or B, we'll do the work and then tax them on the back end for that. It's one way to get especially our Main Street, when we're looking at possibly a Main Street Iowa grant down the road, make our Main Street look really nice and have nice sidewalks and just a safe place for our kids to walk to school as well. So maybe that's something we can discuss in October and figure out a plan of attack on that.
Yeah. I agree that we should be setting aside some money and redo the sidewalk project and get it going again, because we have lots of sidewalks in town, and property owners who are probably willing to have their sidewalks repaired. It's we just need to make sure that we do it.
Sure.
And if we should we put it on next month's agenda to if we're almost getting too late in the year to do anything in the fall, but if we have the program in place for spring, we might be able to get it started and get some progress before the end of this fiscal year.
Sure. Yep.
What about places that do not have a sidewalk? Like along Metcalf there north of 210, north of 5th Street. There's no sidewalks at all. Well, on the one side there is, not on the other. And it's not
Part of what we did last time in the 90s when we had the sidewalk project is we identified what was called safe routes to school. And so, yes, on Metcalf, there's only sidewalks on one side and they're kind of intermittent. If we want to have a safe walk to school, then we would want to have continuous sidewalk at least on one side.
Yes.
And so we'd have to pick who we're going to pick on, essentially. That we have a sidewalk on one side and because it provides a safe route to school.
A continuous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, since the front doors are now on Maxwell, do we need to think Maxwell more than Metcalf?
We need to take a look at and work with the school on what would be the safe route for walking. And yes, it may be that we had do one side on Metcalf down to 5th, then along 5th and cross at Maxwell. And that would mean that we need to get a sidewalk 2 houses north of me. And we'd also have to do, it's the city's, the ordinance says the adjacent property owner is responsible. But the city is the only adjacent property owner between the street and, in the right of way. And so there are a number of places where the sidewalk ends at the property line, and then you have this grass strip all the way out to the street. Well, that's city responsibility. We are the only adjacent property owner. So if we're doing a safe route to school, it's not only the sidewalk in front of people's houses, but it's also that sidewalk extended to the crosswalk that we have to do. And so, yeah, we need to figure out where the walking paths are that kids can get to. And yes, they're going to take different routes and they'll cross at Metcalf because they're kids. But if we have a safe route, we should make sure that it's safe.
I was just going to clarify on the Baldwin project. We are not redoing all of the sidewalks. We're doing select ones. We're redoing all of the curb ramps, and then infilling in a couple locations. But if the sidewalk is there existing and it's in good condition and we can rebuild the road without getting into it, we're not touching it. That doesn't mean that if there's a bad spot, we couldn't add it into the project.
And we have a picture of a real bad spot.
Yeah. So if there's a bad spot, there's no sense in replacing sidewalk if there's nothing wrong with it. Just adds cost. But if there's a bad spot, we can certainly plop it in either now or during construction. We can have them at it as a bid item.
The stairs on the corner, are you possibly making that into a van?
They're going away.
Awesome.
Because those are not
I really
code.
like
So
it. Not at all.
well, I'm assuming you're talking about the same one, the 5th and Baldwin.
The ones you can't get a stroller up and
Yeah.
down?
Yeah. So all the curb ramps will be ADA accessible, meet current code standards for.
You can throw those in if you want.
Yeah.
We don't have to pay for them.
Nice guy he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else, Steve?
That's it.
Lauren,
Nothing.
Doug,
Saw an ad today, and I don't know where we are on our trail cameras or different things, but they are on sale right now, 3 of them for $95 at Tyson. So I don't know if we're in the market for it. We paid gold for the ones we did buy because we needed them right away, but it looks like those are pretty good price. I don't know anything about the quality, but if we
I
are,
think they're 95 because they're not cellular, the ones we have.
okay, I had no idea.
But-
All right.
Right, I think that's what the deal is.
And we really do need the cellular.
Yeah.
Okay, just
These
saw
would
that.
have to be checked all the time.
Okay, no, that was all I had, other than what we've already talked about.
Ken? I don't think I have anything.
Who was on the phone this evening? Did anybody say who they were?
Consent agenda,
I would like 9A removed from the consent agenda.
9A.
Yep.
Reason being?
Other than the fact I'm gonna vote no, the privileges is outdoor service. And the code that we just approved says that you can have sales on the premises from for everything except 2 o'clock in the morning to 6. The premises is since we do not have a layout that shows where the outdoor sales are taking place, means that the and not only the little grassy area in front of Mom's, but also the parking lot and everything else, because that is the entire premises for 123 Main. Any liquor permit that comes through that has outdoor sales, and I'm going to vote against it if I don't have a site plan that shows where the outdoor sales is taking place.
Are they buying the beer outside? Buying it inside?
Outdoor sales means that they can drink it outside.
Cause I don't know of any,
Did their original service
what's that?
plan, their original service map, did that just include the inside? Where you purchased it?
Well, if it doesn't have the privilege of outdoor service, then you have to drink inside. Outdoor service means you can have a beer garden.
And your concern with that is that they could walk anywhere on their property and drink beer?
You could have 100 people out there in the parking lot, all over the place. If there is not a site plan where the beer garden is, then that means we are issuing a permit for the entire premises. And I'm not in favor of doing that for any.
So you don't want it taken off, you just want to pull it
I want
out?
it taken out of the consent agenda so that we can vote on it separately.
that okay with everyone?
It doesn't make any difference whether it's okay with everyone or not.
Okay, there you
It's
go.
removed from the consent agenda.
Okay.
And voted on separately.
All right, so let's talk about approval of alcohol license for moms.
Deb, do you have a site plan?
No.
Okay.
When someone applies for an alcohol license, the state of Iowa, the ABD does not require them to have what you call a beer garden. So what I'm trying to do is clarify what you mean by beer garden. Is that
Outdoor sales means that they are getting a privilege of selling liquor outdoors. And since we are approving this and the premise of 123 Main, that means they can be done anywhere outdoors on 123 Main. I talked to the Liquor Commission and they said that if you are, what they request a site plan, and whatever the site plan is, the city needs to either approve or deny the site plan, and that's where you can have outdoor sales. And if you don't have the site plan, then it's the entire area. That's why I will not vote in favor of a liquor permit anywhere in the city, whether it's the city park or any place else, for outdoor sales if there isn't a site.
Designated area where they can,
If they want to designate the whole thing,
yeah.
Great. I may not vote in favor of it, but at least we have the site plan.
So sales and service are interchangeable words then in this context?
Well, in this context, it'd be buying it inside and then be drinking it outside. The permit for outdoor service means they could sell it outside or it could be drunk outside.
And Deb, this would go into effect on the 23rd, correct? If it's approved. And if we don't approve it, we basically shut this place down until we get an approved liquor license, correct?
well, in order for her to go back, because did she have to submit any sort of site plan to the ABD, or am I missing something? Or is this just a renewal of what she has and she was able to put an addition
Onto it.
the outdoor privilege?
And maybe it wasn't an addition.
You have to select that as a privilege on your permit. So it is.
And if there were,
This isn't a new issue for me. I brought it up on everyone and grudgingly voted in favor in the past, but I'm not going to vote in favor in the future. Of course, that's one out of, what, 4. So you can do what you want. I'm just saying that I think it's not appropriate.
I would say, I think that it gives moms the ability to have outdoor events. And when I say events, I don't think there's ever been an issue outside at moms. If there is, I think that's up to moms and the Story County Sheriff's Department.
It'll be legal till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Legal till 2 o'clock in the morning. She knows when to shut that down. They don't get to take beer out of the building now and go outside and drink it at the table. Is that true?
at the table. I think if you're smoking, which
You
is
can take a
outside,
beer with you outside.
I believe so. I think what Steve's getting at is he doesn't want to see where they could have a beer garden or set up a cooler outside to sell. Is that right?
I have no problem with that. If they had submitted a plan that showed the restriction of the drinking of alcohol to that grassy area at the tables that they set up, then great. I would have no problem with it. What I have a problem with is issuing it for the entire premises of 123 Main.
Which would include sidewalk past.
Not sidewalk,
Okay.
Parking lot.
Where else would that?
parking lot, the parking lot, all the way down to the fire station.
I don't see an issue. I don't see much difference than, and this is just me, I don't see a difference of someone walking outside with a beer to go to the table or just a stand on the little gravel area and have a beverage. I don't see a difference. If you can do that at the table, I don't know if people are going to abuse that. The premises is set because of the ownership of the premises, am I correct? That's just my opinion.
So,
Somebody want to make a motion?
is there a motion to approve the liquor license for Mounds?
I am. I want to make that motion to approve it.
Motion by Ken, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Lauren. Discussion.
Could we give moms the opportunity to say, here's the area before the 23rd?
It would be difficult.
It would.
It would be difficult with the ABD, yes.
And it has to
She
go
would
to
have to
them.
resubmit a brand new application.
She couldn't just give it to us and for our approval.
No, because we have to click the button.
We're the ones that, right now it's in local authority, so for. I guess I don't know that answer. I don't know.
If we click decline,
Yeah,
it goes back to her and she has to fill out a whole new.
if it's not approved tonight, we have to click decline.
Yep.
And that sends it to the ABD as declined, which makes moms have to reapply
Yep.
the whole 9 yards.
And the timing would be difficult to keep them open.
At least
At
30
the
to 60.
23rd. So that's a month's process.
So she would be essentially out of business for a month.
But that's up. It's up to us.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. Ken,
Yes.
Steve,
No.
Lauren,
Yes.
Doug.
Yes, because of the timing.
All right, consent agenda. We have the Dollar General alcohol license, the August 1st, August 9th minutes, and then the current bills that are presented.
Move approval?
Moved by Steve, for people. Second by Ken. Discussion. Hearing none. Steve,
Yes.
Lauren,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ken.
Yeah.
One item left.
Make motion to adjourn.
Motion made by Ken.
Second.
Second by Lauren. Discussion.
Your official job.
Sorry.
Hearing none. Lauren,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Ken,
Yeah.
Steve.
Yes.
All right. We are-
Good work, kids.
Hey, will you end that, please?
On that safe buildings, is like the landlord there